Welcome to the deep dive, everybody. Ready to dive deep, you know what I mean?
Always ready.
Today we're going all in on The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho's book. You submitted the entire thing for our deep dive.
A great choice. It's a book that sparks a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of different feelings for people,
Yeah. I'm really excited to, unpack it all.
Me too.
And, especially with you, you've got so much knowledge about literature and philosophy and, all this stuff, so.
Well, we'll see what we can uncover together.
Right, exactly.
Mm.
Now, even before we, even start reading the story itself,
Yeah.
Coelho drops this little intriguing nugget in the foreword.
Okay.
He talks about how, the book totally bombed at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One person bought it the first week, and then, get this, the same guy bought a second copy, 6 months later. What do you make of that?
Wow. That's wild. I mean, it's a testament to the unpredictable nature of success, I guess. You just never know what's going to resonate, right? This book went on to be huge.
I know.
I mean, translated into 80 languages, right?
Yeah.
A global phenomenon.
Crazy, right?
Makes you wonder, though, how many great books are out there that never find their audience?
Oh, totally. Hidden treasures waiting to be discovered.
Yeah.
Which actually is a perfect segue into the prologue of the book.
Okay, yeah.
Where Coelho, retells the myth of Narcissus.
Right.
But it's not about vanity, is it?
No, not in this version. The lake weeps for Narcissus, but not because he was beautiful. It's because he never actually saw his own beauty, Never recognized his potential.
Wow.
It's like Coelho's setting us up for this theme of self-discovery right from the start.
Totally. And this idea of self-discovery, it's at the heart of The Alchemist, right?
Mm-hmm.
We meet Santiago. He's a shepherd in Andalusia.
Yeah.
And he keeps having this dream about finding treasure at the pyramids in Egypt.
Right.
And it's not just some random dream, is it? Something's pulling him toward this treasure.
Yeah. It's like he feels this pull toward what Coelho calls his personal legend. This idea that we all have a purpose, a path we're meant to follow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to think about that, in our own lives.
Oh, absolutely. What are we truly seeking? What calls to us on a deeper level? Those are the questions.
That's such a good question for our listeners to think about.
Yeah.
And Santiago, he actually starts on this, journey.
Okay.
And it's almost like he has all these, fated encounters that keep guiding him along the way.
I see. Like what?
There's this old woman. She reads his palm, and she, mentions the pyramids. Then he meets Melchizedek. He's like the king of Salem, right?
Yeah.
And this guy introduces him to this whole concept of personal legends and the soul of the world.
Right. The soul of the world. What do you make of that concept? It feels pretty central to the whole book.
Yeah, for sure. It's like this force connecting everything, this energy, right, that flows through all things.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. It reminds me of some philosophical ideas like pantheism. Where, the divine is within everything, or even Jung's concept of the collective unconscious.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
And for Santiago, understanding the soul of the world, I think it's about understanding, his place in the bigger picture, how he's connected to everything.
So it's more than just finding the physical treasure.
Oh, for sure.
It's about finding his place, understanding his purpose.
Exactly.
And it's interesting, he keeps coming across these omens.
Right. Like signs.
Yeah, signs that are guiding him. It's like the universe is talking to him directly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you interpret those omens, for someone reading the book today?
Well, I think they represent our intuition.
Yeah.
That little voice inside us, the one we often ignore.
Yeah, I get that.
It's encouraging us to pay attention, to be more present, notice those signs.
Right, the synchronicities.
Exactly. What do you think?
What stands out to you about the omens, though? How they actually work in the story?
Well, it's interesting. He's given these stones, Urim and Thummim, right, to help him read the omens. It's like he needs these tools at first. But then, as his journey goes on, he starts to understand this, this language of the world more naturally.
Right.
Without needing those tools.
That's a great point. It suggests that maybe the ability to understand that language, to trust our gut, is something that develops over time, through experience.
Yeah, it's not something we're born with, but something we learn.
Right, exactly.
So Santiago, he follows the omens, sells his sheep, crosses the Strait of Gibraltar, heads to Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, and he ends up in Tangier, where he meets the crystal merchant.
Oh yeah, the Crystal Merchant. He's a fascinating character.
He is. He's got this dream of going to Mecca, right?
Right.
But he never, like, actually does anything about it.
He never takes that step.
What do you think Hall is trying to say with this character?
Hmm. Well, I think he embodies the fear of actually pursuing our dreams, of leaving our comfort zones.
Right, right.
He's happy enough with his shop, even though he clearly longs for something more.
Yeah, he represents that part of us that hesitates.
Absolutely. Makes excuses,
Yeah.
plays it safe.
In Santiago, he's like the opposite.
Totally.
He risks everything to follow his dream.
Even when he gets robbed, right, in Tangier.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't give up.
Incredible.
He understands that setbacks are like part of the journey, that they can even like bring him closer to his personal legend.
It's like he sees the robbery not as a failure, but as a redirection, an opportunity.
I love that.
And that attitude leads him to join the caravan crossing the Sahara.
Yeah, which brings him closer to his destination, to his destiny. And that caravan journey, it's so symbolic, isn't it?
It is like a microcosm of life itself.
Totally. You got all these different people from all these different backgrounds.
Babbling together.
They're facing these challenges, sharing their stories. What stands out to you about that part of his journey?
Well, I think it really highlights the importance of community, of connection, even in the vastness of the desert, Santiago learns from the people he meets, forms bonds.
He even shares his wisdom.
It's like we're not meant to do this alone, We need each other, even as we each chase our own our own individual paths.
And within that community, he meets the Englishman who's like totally fixated on alchemy.
Oh yeah, and finding the Philosopher's Stone.
It's like a parallel journey, isn't it?
Totally, like two different ways of searching for knowledge and transformation.
So interesting.
The Englishman represents that more, intellectual pursuit.
Yeah.
Bookish, while Santiago's learning through experience, through intuition, through connection.
I see that. It raises the question then of like, what is knowledge, really?
Right.
And how different paths can lead to different kinds of understanding.
A very good point.
And of course, we can't forget about the alchemist himself.
Oh, yes, the alchemist.
This mysterious figure who ends up being Santiago's guide through the desert.
Right. But I think we should probably save that for the next part of our dive.
Yeah, definitely. The heart of the journey still ahead.
Picking up where we left off, with Santiago heading off with the alchemist.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on their dynamic? It's not your typical teacher-student thing, is it?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, the alchemist's more like guiding Santiago to discover what's already inside him.
Yeah.
To tap into his own wisdom. He doesn't just give him the answer.
Right. He's more like a catalyst.
Yeah, exactly.
Pushing Santiago to face his fears, to question everything, and really trust his intuition. He's all about encouraging Santiago to listen to his heart, but also to the desert itself, to understand that language of the world. What do you think of that concept? Does it resonate with you at all?
Oh, it's such a powerful idea that there's this like underlying language, this way of communicating beyond words. It makes me think of those times when you just know something, or you feel this deep connection to nature, or maybe even just like a gut feeling about a decision.
Yeah.
With like tapping into something bigger.
It is. I think that's beautifully put. It's about recognizing that, interconnectedness of everything, the energy that flows through all of us. And the alchemist, he helps Santiago understand that this language, it's not just about receiving messages, it's about participating,
Right.
shaping your own destiny.
Yeah. And then there's that incredible scene where Santiago learns to turn himself into the wind.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Talk about a challenge.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate test of faith.
It is. Letting go of your ego, embracing the unknown.
Right.
It's such a powerful metaphor for transformation. And it makes you think, about our own personal legend. Like, what does it really take to surrender to that process, to embrace the challenges that come with chasing your dreams?
I think it takes a lot of courage.
Definitely courage.
And trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the journey.
Yeah.
Trust in, something bigger.
Yeah, beautifully said. And even after he accomplishes that incredible feat, he still faces setbacks, right?
Oh, yeah.
He gets robbed, loses all his gold. It's heartbreaking.
It is.
But it shows us something really profound about his character.
Totally. I mean, he could have just given up.
Right.
Gone home.
Right. Exactly.
But he keeps going. Doesn't let it defeat him. He remembers what the alchemist told him about the real treasure being the journey itself.
Right, the lessons learned along the way. It's a testament to his resilience,
It really,
his
yeah.
unwavering belief in his path. I think it speaks to this idea that our personal legends, they're not just about the destination,
Yeah.
but about becoming who we're meant to be through all the striving, the challenges.
Right. And so this brings him back to where it all started, the pyramids of Egypt.
Full circle.
But he's not the same person who began this journey.
No, he's transformed by everything he's gone through.
By his experiences, his encounters, by his
Yeah.
willingness to just, step into the unknown.
Exactly. And even though he doesn't find the treasure where he expected it,
Right.
he realizes that the real treasure was always within him.
The wisdom, the relationships, the whole journey of self-discovery.
It's a powerful message, isn't it?
It really is. It's like the real rewards are in the journey itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes me think of that T.S. Eliot quote, "The journey, not the arrival, matters."
Yeah.
Santiago's journey might have started with a dream of finding this treasure, but it became a journey of finding himself.
And speaking of finding, we can't forget about Fatima,
Oh,
the
Fatima.
woman he met at the oasis.
Right, right.
Their love story adds this whole other layer to the idea of pursuing your dreams.
It does. It's a beautiful exploration of love without possession.
Right.
Fatima, she understands that Santiago needs to follow his path, and she encourages him.
Which is a powerful message for all of us,
You did.
especially in our relationships, to realize that love isn't about holding someone back.
Yeah.
It's about encouraging them to grow.
Exactly. And it reflects the wisdom Santiago gains throughout his journey.
Yeah.
He learns to love Fatima without needing to possess her,
Right.
just like he learns to love the journey without clinging to a specific outcome.
Freedom, fulfillment.
Yeah. So we have Santiago back at the pyramids.
Yeah.
He's experienced all this incredible growth and transformation.
But there's one more crucial piece to uncover, isn't there? That moment when he finally understands the true meaning of his personal legend. So we left off with Santiago back at the pyramids.
Yeah, he's come full circle.
But like you said, there's that key moment when he finally gets it, the real meaning of his personal legend.
It's a powerful realization.
Yeah.
And it comes after real despair. Remember when he's robbed, left with nothing but those 2 stones.
Oh, human through me.
Yeah. And he's just standing there near the pyramids, just feeling totally defeated.
Yeah.
Starts to cry.
Ugh, that part always gets me.
It's tough. He's come so far, gone through so much. And it feels like he's failed.
Yeah.
But then he remembers what the alchemist told him.
What's that?
Be aware of the place where you were brought to tears. That's where I am, and that's where your treasure is.
Oh, wow.
And it's in that moment, when he's at his lowest point,
Yeah.
that he starts digging right where he's standing.
So the treasure was literally buried there.
It's poetic, isn't it?
It really is.
But it's deeply symbolic. Remember how the crystal merchant talked about building a pyramid in his backyard?
Yeah.
Santiago realizes he could never actually do that, but in that moment, he understands the metaphor. The real treasure, it wasn't gold or jewels. It was the journey itself, the transformation, the wisdom he gained.
So the treasure was inside him the whole time.
Yeah, the whole journey was leading him back to himself, to a deeper understanding of who he is.
And that's the magic of the book, right?
It is. It is.
It's not about finding something outside yourself. It's about discovering the treasure within.
Absolutely. It's about embracing the journey, trusting that it's leading you to your purpose.
And makes you wonder, maybe our personal legends are less about achieving some goal and more about becoming the best versions of ourselves along the way.
I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. And The Alchemist, it reminds us that self-discovery never really ends.
Yeah.
It's not like you reach a destination and you're done. It's a lifelong process.
Right. Which brings us to the end of the book, with Santiago returning to Fatima.
Yeah, such a satisfying ending to their love story.
He realizes his journey wasn't just about him, it was about finding his way back to her.
Their reunion, it speaks volumes about love and connection. It shows us that true love, it supports growth, even if it means being apart for a while. And in the end, it's by following his own path that Santiago can come back to Fatima with a deeper understanding of himself and of their love.
It's like sometimes you have to journey outward to journey inward, to really appreciate what you have.
Beautifully said. And I think The Alchemist leaves us with this really thought-provoking question.
What's that?
If you can meet the alchemist, what would you ask him about your own personal legend?
That's a great question. One I'll definitely be thinking about. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into The Alchemist. Hope you've been inspired to, listen to your heart, trust your gut, and embrace your own journey of self-discovery.
And remember the
Yeah.
treasure. It might be closer than you think.
Until next time, keep exploring.